What's cooking, Bianconeri? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. We've got your latest rundown of all the updates regarding Juventus and what's going on with the club currently. Post-match, Allegri and Locatelli talked about giving their thoughts on what happened during the game yesterday against Sampdoria. Some good, some bad. We'll get into it. And then also Morata and Dybala, their injury status, two strikers that Juventus will be without in the foreseeable future. We'll talk about what the current update is regarding them. Stick with us. We'll fill you in now. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back. You're in the Bianconeri zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today is Monday, September 27th, 2021. And of course, I have your latest rundown of all things Juventus. Latest rundown of all the updates that we have of what's going on. And we got players hurt. We got games that we won, but then we sometimes dropped a little bit of extra goals that we could have used. And that goal differential, what's going on there. Max Allegri, Locatelli talked about it today. Make sure before we do anything and we jump into this that you're subscribed to the channel. If you're new here, what are you doing? Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well if you haven't already. Hitting that like button really helps us with the algorithm. I don't know why I said algo, but with the algorithm, it really helps us grow and helps us grow our outreach to other Juventus fans around the world. Again, and I apologize, I do want to get back, really getting into your comments in the comment section down below. If you could, and if you are new here, or if you're not even new here yet, but you haven't shared your story yet, there's 1,600 of you now. Thank you for helping us hit that threshold. We're trying to get to 2,000 by the end of the year. Hopefully we can be successful in doing so. But if you're new here, even if you're not new here and you've been here for a while since day one and you haven't told us already, let us know your story down in the comment section down below. How you became a Juventus fan, when you started becoming a Juventus fan, and then also how you found the channel, how you became involved with the channel. What's the way that you're really finding the channel? Is it through Twitter? Is it through YouTube just being suggested to you? Is it through Facebook, Instagram, whatever have you? Let us know that in the comment section down below as well. So hopefully we can continue to grow and bring you more content down the line. All right, let's just jump into it of what we have regarding the news today. And first off is Allegri giving some post comments around after Sampdoria about his thoughts of the game. He said, excuse me, let me clear my throat. There we go. He said, basically when talking about work culture and what it means at Juventus, he says, I don't know what happened in the 2 years I was away. I know that now we are working well, and today we should have been 3-0 up at halftime. If you close games earlier, then you make changes earlier and give more breathing space. Instead, we continue to waste a lot of mental energy, given the lack of results and the suffering win. I really like that he said this. The reason I like it so much is because first off, he comes in. He could have taken a shot at, he wouldn't take a shot at Pirlo, but he could have taken a shot at Sadi, the guy who came in following his departure, whatever happened. He didn't do it. He just said, I don't know. I just know what we have here now, and we're working hard to get back there. Kind of coach speak, but also not bad. But then I really like is what he kind of gave into. He came into the second part of his statement and really kind of was critical of his guys and their performances, basically saying what a lot of us are saying. And now it's not just because it's saying what I'm saying, but yeah, Juventus should have been up 3-0 at least at halftime, or maybe not at halftime, but at least before Sampdoria got on the board there. You have Chiesa missed that one opportunity, which made no sense. Chiesa was off of his game yesterday against Sampdoria. Hopefully he can bounce back and get his mind right, when it comes to that going in the future. And then as well, when you have Morata, who missed up his opportunity as well. So hopefully guys like that, especially guys like, Chiesa and Morata, are two guys that should not be missing open opportunities that are, I don't want to say give me, because nothing's a give me when there's a man in goal, but at the same time, as best opportunities as you could, these are two guys that I expect to capitalize on it. I'm thankful for Dybala and his capitalization early. Luckily, things ended up working out in the end, but it was frustrating when you had that situation as it played out. Let's move on to the next comments that Allegri had. And basically, he goes on to say that apart from the fact that by now in Serie A, there are less and less clean sheets for all teams. On set pieces, we man mark, but on the goal, Sandro lost the player already before the corner. Bonucci understood that there was danger and tried to go for it. That first part was not helpful. I mean, it's helpful, but it reconfirms what people were just saying. And because I remember post game, things happen so quickly sometimes. So I'm not recording. I'm not recording. I'm not rewinding, going back to look. So a lot of people ended up thinking that it was Bonucci that had lost his man. I was guilty at first, and then I realized, oh no, after a couple, I think it was actually Alejandro who actually pointed out that if you go back and look at it, yeah, like you said, Sandro lost his player. So then Bonucci tried to go back and man mark 2 guys at one time. And then you saw how that played out. It was unfortunate for the way that it ended up there, getting that header by Yoshida. Up until now, we haven't conceded so many chances with Milan in the last few minutes and today in the final part of the first half. In those moments, we need more attention. Basically saying it's all about detail. It's all about attention to detail, and you have to capitalize on those chances when you have them. But then you have to also make sure that you're shutting down the chances that Milan gets. And it is frustrating because, or Milan or any club, honestly. But it's frustrating because Juventus is not giving up a lot of chances at all. If you look at it, Juventus is taking, like I said, 25 and then 16 shots, while other teams are, I think it was 10 and 5 or something like that. I think for the last 2 matches, it was 10 against Spezia and then 5 for Sampdoria, and they were able to get 2 goals off of 5. The efficiency there by Sampdoria is good. It's one of those situations where when Juventus does this, they just leave them so open. The few chances that they do get, they're good chances, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's move it on here, see if I can get this thing set up properly. There we go. And then he continues on to say that today's win, or yesterday's win now, must make us understand that most games are like that. Right now, we need a clear victory to raise our self-esteem. In the second half, we started very well. Slowly, we're coming along. So we're slowly getting there. It's just going to take time. You can start to see. I think maybe one of the things you could argue, and as frustrating as some of these games may have been, you can see a slow build and what Allegri's trying to do, and hopefully that these guys are slowly buying in and actually trying to, or maybe hopefully quickly buying in, not slowly buying in, but quickly buying in and actually starting to learn and pick up what he wants them to do. And hopefully down the road, you're already giving up a few chances. Hopefully even more, you'll be shutting down the opportunities that they do get, so that way you'll block shots or whatever have you. Szczesny or Padin will be able to step up and get it as long as those other defenders are doing their job and not leaving them vulnerable in those situations. So we'll see how that goes on going forward for Juventus as it currently stands. Then we can move on to our boy Manuel Locatelli, who had some comments after that, basically saying inside the locker room, we tell each other things that stay there and we follow the coach. It was crucial to win. Let's keep it up and keep climbing the table. That was interesting. When he says that, I mean, obviously everybody knows that to be true, but it's interesting when he says that they tell each other things that stay there and we follow the coach. So that means that he's saying that they go at each other, they criticize each other. I'm guessing more than like that's a critic. It's a constructive criticism. There we go. Trying to get it out there. I think it's a constructive criticism when it comes to what they were doing with each other, telling each other, probably calling each other out for mistakes that they're making. Hopefully it's not anything that, you don't want to see more infighting between the club, but I don't think that is in this case. I think a lot of it is constructive and working toward a goal there. He also said we're all responsible. We all know what we need to do, and we help each other out. We needed to win, and we won. I mean, what am I supposed to say? Thank you, Locatelli. You got to give me something a little more than that. Maybe you could have said something about like, hell yeah, I got my first goal. First goal for Juventus at home, scoring it, childhood dream, yeah. No. It was just a very business-like structure. Maybe that's something that honestly, maybe that's something as a fan, maybe I would prefer to see that than him to celebrate his first goal for Juventus. It is just cool though, just knowing that he is a Juventini since birth, young, family, all love Juventus. How cool that moment must have been. And exciting to actually score your first goal for your boyhood love, squad. It's pretty cool. Anyway, but yeah, overall, I like that. I'm glad and overall appreciative that he has a business way and that he's going about it. And then we have your update regarding Dybala and Morata, if I can actually click on it properly, and there we go. Anyway, basically it looks like for Alvaro Morata, there's a low-grade muscle injury of the bicep femoris. Excuse me, I am still recovering from an illness, so I have a lot of throat problems. Anyway, a muscle injury of the bicep femoris of the right thigh. For you that are doctors, there you go. I know. I mean, yeah, it's a thigh injury. It's a thigh injury. Low-grade thigh injury is basically what it is. I'm glad that they fill us in, though, exactly what it is. For those that are more in the know, or if you really want to do more research on it. But going on that as well, Paulo Dybala has an elongation of the semitendi. Why am I doing this? My wife would kill me. She works in the medical field. She would know how to pronounce all this properly. I don't. My family all does. I did not. I chose a different path. Tendinosis. Um, sure. Muscle of the left thigh. Both players will be available after the international break, and that is the big part. That really is big news. That was surprising to me, honestly, and I think it's surprising to a lot of us that are maybe involved in this. Is just because to think that both Paulo Dybala and Alvaro Morata will be back right after the international break, which starts right after this week's over. You have 2 weeks off. Or 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. Or is it a week? Anyway, whatever it is, you have the international break, the length that it is, and then they come back. And it's kind of surprising to me that just within the span of a few weeks, that both of these guys will be good to go. I'm happy about it. Mainly Paulo Dybala is the one that I was worried about. Alvaro Morata has suffered injuries, but he seems to jump back. Paulo Dybala had the whole situation with him last year that kept him sidelined for basically an entire year. Going on with that. Hopefully he gets his game back. Hopefully he'll be healthy, and hopefully he'll be good to go. For the rest of the season, we need him for if Juventus is going to be successful going forward. Unfortunate that both players will be out. If you haven't heard already, it is confirmed they will both be out until then, which means they'll miss the Chelsea match this Wednesday, and then they'll also miss the match against Torino as well. So hopefully Allegri will be able to work with what he's got. Chelsea, if you can hold it to a draw, that would be fantastic. Even if they lose, I'm not going to bury them for that one. That one that you're playing against the European champions and you're down, even worse. I don't expect a pretty match. But against Torino, if you can still gut out a win somehow, you need to be able to do that to continue the growth that Juventus has and clawing your way back in the table. And you're set up pretty well, honestly, to be able to get back in a competitive spirit. Maybe even for the Scudetto, honestly, but at least for the top four right away. Anyway, that's mainly the main news that I have when it comes to that. Let me know your thoughts when it comes to the players, their injuries or whatever. I need to actually look up a little bit more to see what exactly, if that was the same injury for Dybala, being that he's not out longer because we thought he'd be out at least a month or so. That would be an interesting idea to see what exactly it is and see if it's a little bit different or not. Or, we'll see. You always hear about they'll be back then, but then, things prolong it or whatever have you. So anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Any questions that you guys have as well, we'll try to answer those as quickly as possible. We appreciate you guys for tuning in and all your continued support. Hopefully we'll continue to bring you more content. I'm excited. We're going to bring you some diverse content. These daily videos are great, but I want to bring something new, something fresh, something exciting, something a little bit different than what everybody else does on these, there's Juventus channels around. The news is great, but there's other stuff that can really involve you guys, but then also either involve you guys, that way you can have a little bit more of a participation with it, but then also just more fun actually when it comes to our fanhood with Juventus, but then maybe talking about some other topics as well that are intermingled with that. Anyway, we appreciate you guys for joining us and hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already, as well as hitting that bell icon to stay notified for all of your latest videos regarding all things Juventus. Make sure you follow Bianconerizone at Bianconerizone on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me at Justin Sofer on Twitter, and follow my boys Julian Genotti at Genotti151 on Twitter, Twitter as well. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.